How do you emotionally detach from someone? In this video, we'll search for answers to this question. This is a question that, at some point in our lives, has crossed our minds, occupied our hearts, and weighed heavily on us. Breakups, farewells, endings. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or a family bond, when we are deeply attached to someone and that bond breaks, the emptiness we feel can be an indescribable source of pain for many of us. The Swiss deep thinker Carl Jung whispers an important truth that sheds light on this. Do not hold on to the one who leaves, so that room can be made for the one who comes. This simple yet powerful sentence reveals the thin line between attachment and letting go. Contrary to what we've been taught, is love really always a feeling that walks hand in hand with the fear of loss? Or is it not love itself, but something else disguised as love? Jung says, attachment is not love. It is fear, disguised. When you attach to someone, it's not because you truly love them, but because deep down you feel incomplete without them. You may feel that without that person's presence, your life loses meaning, that without their approval, your worth diminishes, that without their love, a part of you breaks. According to Carl Jung, these feelings are not love, but emotional dependency. True love is expansion. It is growth. It is not chaining yourself down. It is a sharing that is nourished by freedom. To be with someone not because you need them to feel whole, but because you choose them. But most people confuse love with attachment, because in their past relationships, the fear of loss was more dominant than the desire to share. We were taught that love brings pain, that if we truly care for someone, we should fear losing them. We were told that loving means needing, holding on tightly and becoming dependent. And here, I want you to ask yourself this question. Do you truly love that person, or are you just afraid of being without them? Do you see how attachment disguises itself as love? Attachment is not simply feeling that you want someone in your life. Attachment is feeling like you lose a part of yourself without that person. And it's easy to justify this. It's easy to say you love someone so much you can't imagine life without them. But the problem isn't loving. The problem is believing that love will vanish if that person isn't there. The problem is thinking that love exists in the other person, not realizing the source is within yourself. If you believe that love is in someone else and not in you, you become a prisoner of that bond. If you believe you need someone to feel valuable, your happiness will always depend on external factors. If they stay, you're happy. If they leave, you collapse. And deep down, you know this isn't healthy. Loving is not being dependent. This is a balance very few can achieve. Carl Jung said that love does not need to possess, it only needs to understand. When you love, by connecting instead of attaching, you let go of the need to control. When you realize no one is responsible for your happiness, you stop holding on so tightly. When you see that love is not a limited resource, you stop fearing it will run out. Because real love is not fear, it is not anxiety, worry, or unease in the face of loss. Real love is freedom. But to experience it, you must first free yourself from attachment. You must learn to let go without fear. You must realize that letting go does not mean losing. It means regaining your peace. And here lies the most important question. How do you let go without feeling like you've lost? How do you allow someone to go without being left alone with emptiness? That is what we will explore in the next step. Because emotionally detaching from someone is not giving up on love. It is reclaiming yourself. Letting go is one of the hardest experiences for a human being. From a young age, we were taught that true love lasts forever, that if we truly care for someone, we must do everything to keep them by our side. We were told that detaching means failure, that letting go means losing. But here is the truth that few want to accept. Emotionally detaching from someone is not losing. It is freeing yourself from the idea that your happiness depends on their presence. Because love should not be a prison. You should not live in constant fear that the person will change, grow distant, or one day choose another path. Because when fear dominates, love becomes a burden. It ceases to be a gift. As Carl Jung said, nothing has a stronger psychological influence on a child than the unlived life of a parent. This applies not only to parents, but to every relationship. When you sacrifice your essence just to maintain a relationship, when you give away pieces of yourself to sustain a bond, you must realize, if you stay in a place where you are no longer happy just because you're afraid to leave, you are giving up your life. And that is the worst loss. The fear of letting go is not love, it is addiction. If even the thought of leaving someone terrifies you, ask yourself, what really binds you, love or fear of being alone? Sometimes we believe we cannot leave someone because we think we love them too much. But if you look deeper, you will often discover it's not love holding you. It's fear. Fear of never finding someone else to connect with. Fear of facing yourself. Fear of the emptiness growing without the distraction of the relationship. I understand that fear. But the irony is that emptiness was there long before that person came. You just camouflaged it while they were around. You believed love filled it. But the truth is, no one can fill your emptiness. Only you can heal it. Letting go does not mean that person wasn't important. It doesn't mean you must forget what you shared. It doesn't mean love wasn't there. It means you are choosing to put yourself first. It means you are choosing peace in a relationship that drains you. It means you are choosing to regain your energy rather than be worn out for someone else. It means that no matter what, you choose to move forward, choosing the future instead of clinging to the past. Letting go is not giving up on love. It is giving up on suffering. Many people believe detaching means becoming cold, cutting ties completely, forgetting what happened. But real detachment is not lack of love. You can let someone go and still appreciate the meaning they had in your life. You can allow them to leave without resentment. You can move forward without erasing the past, without being stuck in it. The difference between letting go with love and letting go with pain is how you interpret the farewell. If you see detachment as a loss, as if something that belonged to you was forcibly taken away, you will feel pain. But if you see it as an act of love for yourself, as an opportunity to regain your energy, your freedom, your wholeness, then letting go becomes not an ending, but an open door. When you cling tightly, you chain yourself. If you were hurt in the past, if you had to let someone go, if love once brought you pain, it doesn't mean it will always be this way. Don't worry. Every person who enters your life is a new experience. Every bond teaches you something new. Every story is unique. If you close yourself off because of the past, you are rejecting the possibility of something better. Don't let a negative experience define your capacity to love. Don't let fear make decisions for you. Don't let past pain stop you from opening your heart in the future. Because healing is not just about releasing pain, it's about learning to trust again. So how do you let go without hardening? This is where many people get confused. They think detachment means becoming indifferent, careless, distant. They believe to avoid pain, they must cut out all feelings completely. They convince themselves they never cared. But detachment is not avoiding connection. It is not becoming immune to emotions. It is learning to experience them without being trapped inside them. It is not forgetting what happened. It is learning from it without holding on to bitterness. It is not giving up on love. It is understanding that love is not something you need to possess. Carl Jung said the key to emotional freedom is to integrate the experience without clinging to it. To be grateful for what was, to learn the lesson without needing to relive it, to open space for the new without carrying the old. That is healing, not running away from love, but finding a healthier way to experience it. Not hardening, but learning to feel without being dependent. Not forgetting someone you loved, but letting go with gratitude instead of pain. Love is not the problem. The problem is how you've interpreted it until now. If you experienced it out of lack, you learned to see it as pain. If you experienced it with attachment, you believed you were nothing without the other person. If you used it to fill your emptiness, you felt broken without them. But when you learn to love fearlessly, without dependency, without possession, you realize love is not something external. It has always been within you. And when you truly understand this, you will never fear letting go again. Because true strength is moving forward. Now that you know letting go does not mean losing, now that you understand healing does not mean closing your heart, one question remains. How will you transform this process into real growth? Because the end of a story is not the end of your life. It is the beginning of something much bigger. To transform pain into growth is to use the experience to become stronger. The pain of letting someone go can feel like an open wound. It can make you doubt yourself, ask what you did wrong, replay the memories over and over. But you must understand something. Pain is only destructive if you don't use it for growth. Carl Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain. The experiences that hurt us the most don't come to destroy us, but to show us what we don't want to see. They are there to pull us out of our comfort zone and push us to a higher level of awareness, to teach us what we need to learn about ourselves." But many people remain trapped in pain. They replay it again and again. They use it to justify their insecurities. They identify with it so deeply that it becomes part of their identity. But here is the choice you have. You can let pain consume you, or you can use it as fuel for your transformation. See pain as a teacher. Every lesson you couldn't ignore, every experience, every loss, every disappointment has left something behind. Maybe you learned you cannot depend on someone else to be happy. Maybe you realized you weren't setting boundaries, and it led you to lose yourself in the relationship. Maybe you saw you were settling for less than you deserved. Pain has a purpose. It shows you something about yourself you didn't want to see. And if instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" you start asking, "What can I learn from this?" everything changes. Because then pain is not a punishment, but a tool for growth. If it left you with insecurity, use it to build stronger self-trust. If it made you feel lost, use it to reconnect with what you truly want. If it showed you that you gave too much without receiving, use it to learn how to set healthy boundaries. Every scar is a reminder that you went through something difficult and survived. But the difference between those who stay stuck and those who evolve is how they choose to use the experience. Letting go does not weaken you, it strengthens you. Many believe that when they let go of someone, they lose a piece of themselves. But the truth is, when you let go, you find yourself. Because letting go does not mean forgetting what happened. It means learning to move forward, not staying trapped in the story. And this is where true transformation happens. If after a painful experience you remain the same, it means you haven't learned the lesson. But if you allow that experience to grow you, then nothing you lived through was in vain. The key is this. Pain should not harden you. It should make you wiser. You should not close yourself to love. You should learn to love fearlessly. You should not give up on trusting. You should learn to recognize who deserves your trust. You should not carry resentment. You should learn to let go with gratitude. Life is not about avoiding pain. It is about learning from it, transforming it, and turning it into something that makes you stronger. Your story is not ending here. If you are going through a separation, if letting go hurts more than you expected, I want you to remember this. You are not losing. You are evolving. You are not leaving a part of yourself behind. You are moving toward a stronger version of yourself. You are not giving up on love. You are learning to experience it in a healthier way. You are not doomed to repeat the same pain. You are gaining wisdom not to fall into the same patterns. And now, I want you to ask yourself, how should I use this experience to grow? Because the history you've lived cannot be changed. But the story you will write from now on is entirely up to you. And this is where the most important step comes, truly moving on, fearlessly, without chains. Because emotionally detaching from someone is not just an ending, it is an opportunity to open up to a whole new life. Truly moving on means building a life where attachment is no longer a chain. Emotionally detaching from someone is not just leaving a relationship, it is leaving behind the idea that you need someone else to feel complete. It is returning to yourself, regaining your energy, learning to live from freedom. But many people remain chained to the past, even after letting go. They keep revisiting the memories. Deep down, they still hope that person will return. They hold on to the fantasy of what was, and unknowingly turn detachment into a silent waiting. But the truth is, as long as you keep looking back, you cannot move forward. As long as you stay stuck in the old, you cannot build something new. As long as you carry the chains of attachment, you will not feel free. Invisible attachment is a prison where the past still controls the present. And the most dangerous part is most of the time we don't even realize we're chained. We believe time will heal everything, that eventually the pain will disappear. But the question you should ask yourself is this: did you really let go? Or did you just get used to carrying the memory? That emptiness wasn't created by that person. It was always yours. The difference is, when that person was in your life, you believed they filled it. But the truth is, no one can fill you. If you feel empty, the solution is not finding someone else to cover it. The solution is discovering which part of yourself you have abandoned. Because if you don't, you will repeat the same cycle. You will cling to the next person, hoping this time will be different. You will build your happiness on another relationship, believing that this time you won't suffer, and you will lose yourself again. You must realize, the only relationship you truly need to heal is the one with yourself. Build a life where attachment no longer imprisons you. Imagine waking up every day knowing that no external factor defines your well-being. Imagine loving without the fear of loss, because you know no one can take away what you've already found within yourself. Imagine being at peace with yourself, feeling whole and complete. Real freedom is not the absence of connections. It is having bonds that come from wholeness, not need. That is what truly moving on means. It does not mean forgetting people. It means learning from them without resentment. It means letting go, not with pain, but with gratitude. Love is not measured by how much you suffer. It is measured by remembering that your worth does not depend on who is in your life. You must reclaim your power. Life goes on, even without them. But the question is, are you still living with the past? There are people who spend their lives looking back, trapped in a story that has already ended, living anchored in nostalgia for something that wasn't even as perfect as they remember, waiting for answers that will never come. But every day you spend anchored to the past is a day you lose from the present. Holding on to the past closes the door to the future. Convincing yourself you can't be happy alone robs you of the chance to discover that you actually can. How much longer will you give your energy to something that no longer exists? How much longer will you let attachment chain you to a story that has already ended, postponing your true freedom? Because when you truly decide to move on, something shifts inside you. You no longer feel the need to return to what was, because you are building something better. You realize love hasn't disappeared, because it lives within you. Life isn't taking something away, it's showing you that you can be happy without depending on someone else. This is true liberation. You realize no one can complete you because you were already whole. When you stop expecting someone else to fill you, you can heal that inner emptiness. Love is not possession, it is presence. It is not need, it is choice. And on that day, attachment ceases to be a chain. You stop being a prisoner of a story that has ended. That day, you truly begin to live. So tell me, are you ready to stop looking back and move forward fearlessly? Because once you understand this, there is no going back. You move forward without chains. If these thoughts added something to you, don't forget to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. For more deep content like this, subscribe to the channel. What do you think about this topic? Share with us in the comments.